Welcome to another Walter Football video. I'm Charlie Campbell, Senior Draft Analyst. Before we get rolling here, I suggest you click into the settings, speed it up to 1.25 or 1.5. All right, here we are at the Combine. Sorry for the delay. I wanted to get this video up earlier. This mock came out on Monday. Here we are on Wednesday. I flew up to Indianapolis on Monday. Then yesterday I was writing a lot of hot presses. I started to film this video and then I got a call from a director of player personnel from a team and had to take that call. So sorry for the delay, but a lot of great info on Walter Football, a lot of hot presses going up. Walt's going to have all the numbers and workout results as well from this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that'll all be there on the site for you guys to check out. So let's get into this week's mock. First overall pick, I have the Jaguars taking Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end from Michigan. Now, one of the first hot presses I pumped out this week was how some of their evaluators have a higher grade on Hutchinson than Evan Neal, the left tackle from Alabama, and a lot of the mocks out there have the Jags taking a tackle. But another hot press I pumped out was that they would like to re-sign Cam Robinson. And I think that if Cam Robinson does get re-signed or franchise tagged again, then I think that pretty much rules out offensive tackle for the Jags at number one because they like Walker Little. They drafted him in the second round last year, can plug him in on the right side. If Robinson's re-signed, you got your left tackle. He's young. He's still entering the prime potential years of his career. And they have Juwan Taylor, a second round pick from 2019, still on the roster to provide some depth behind those guys. And I think with Trevor Lawrence at a very, fragile and critical year in terms of his development, I don't think they want a rookie protecting him. I think they prefer to have guys with more experience who've had some more development with Walker Little's case, and then Taylor as an option to compete there. Maybe he kicks it into high gear in a contract year, but Robinson they can count on. They know what they have in him. So I think that is going to be a huge determining factor as to what they do with the number one overall pick. And now they like Hutchinson. They feel he's a solid double or triple, maybe not a grand slam, but they need more defensive talent. They need a stud guy to go with Josh Allen. Maybe Aiden Hutchinson isn't quite an elite stud in the NFL, but he's a safe pick to be a really solid, quality, good football player. So I think at number one overall, and the talent issues that the Jags have dealt with for years, they need to get it right. They can't afford to go boom or bust, I think. I think they'll play it a bit more safe, take a player like Hutchinson to upgrade that defense. Second overall, I have the Lions taking Drake London, wide receiver from USC. The Lions need a number one receiver, could reunite him with St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, give them a really nice duo there for Jared Goff and a critical year for him. I think Drake London could be a Mike Evans type receiver. A lot of teams picking in the top 10 are really high on him, so his tape is fantastic. The speed concern's really the only thing with him, and probably not going to get a real answer on that because he's not running at the Combine as we were first to report. And he might not work out at the pro day as well, team people have told me. So that we'll see. But at any rate, the Lions got to get receiver talent. I think looking at their draft picks as a whole between this pick at 2 and then 32 and 34, they come out with a more talented group by taking London first and then hitting edge rusher, cornerback, linebacker, those options later at the end of the first and second round. Third overall, I have the Texans taking Kayvon Thibodeau, edge rusher from Oregon. Lovie Smith needs a lead dog edge rusher. J.J. Watt, Clowney, Merciless, all gone from the team over the past few years. John Grenard has kind of developed somewhat into a solid pro, but he's not a game changer, a game wrecker for an offense. They need more of a lead edge presence, and Thibodeau could be that. Fourth overall, I have the Jets taking Derek Stingley, cornerback from LSU. Teams love the boom potential with him. They feel he could be the most upside, most athletically gifted defensive player in this draft. but he's had injury issues past 2 seasons, hasn't played a lot, had some inconsistencies as well where he gave up some plays that he really is too talented. He's getting beat by players that aren't even close to being as good as him athletically. So there's that kind of boom or bust potential with him, but his 2019 season was phenomenal. The Jets need a number one corner. Stingley could come in and turn into an elite player, and I think Robert Saleh in that scheme would be a good spot for him to land to develop him into that boom player and not as much of a risk of the bust because I think Saleh and his staff would do a good job with him. 5th overall, I have the Giants taking Evan Neal, left tackle / right tackle from Alabama. He played both there, but for the Giants, he'd probably be a right tackle with Andrew Thomas on the left side. Really shore up that line, give them bookends. They got to replace Nate Solder. Neal would be a beast for them as a right tackle. I think that'd be a great pick for the Giants. 6th overall, I have the Panthers taking Ikem Ekwonu, left tackle from NC State. Wouldn't shock me if he jumps Neal over the course of the combine workouts and pro day workouts. Ekwonu has a great skill set. The Panthers need that long-term left tackle. It's been a hole for years. They would really help solidify their line if they get a good left tackle to bookend with Taylor Moton. 7th overall, I have the Giants taking Travon Walker, defensive end from Georgia. Really versatile defender. You could add weight to him and play him on the inside. You could drop weight, have him stand up, but he's a tough defensive end, plays hard, is strong, faster, and more athletic than you would think. I think he's going to have an excellent combine, and I think he could end up being a real riser here in the final weeks before the draft. 8th overall, I have the Falcons taking David Ojabo, edge rusher from Michigan. The Falcons were dead last in the NFL in sacks last year. They gotta fix this pass rush issue. The previous regime blew picks on Vic Beasley and Tack McKinley. Dante Fowler didn't work out as a signee. He's gone. They have to get more edge rush talent. I think Ojabo would be a really good fit. 9th overall, I have the Broncos taking Charles Cross, left tackle from Mississippi State. They could start him out on the right side and then in time have a replacement for Garrett Bowles. Bowles regressed some last year. Right tackle's been a hole for them for years. Cross could help in the short term and long term for the Broncos line. But again, this pick could easily end up getting traded for a veteran quarterback. So it's kind of it's tough to project right now considering this pick seems like it's going to be on the move. 10th overall, I have the Jets taking Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas. Give them a weapon for Zach Wilson. They have to get him more weapons in a critical year for that front office. They need Zach Wilson to save their jobs. Got to give him more talent. Burks is big, athletic, has good speed. He can be that possessional receiver. He's tough after the catch. I think he could be a really nice addition for the Jets offense. 11th overall, I have the Commanders, the Commies, the Commodes, Washington football team, whatever you want to call them. I have them taking Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pitt. They need that franchise quarterback. I would not be surprised. A lot of people probably end up projecting Malik Willis to go first. I'm not sure that will happen just yet, but I do know some of the staff at Washington. And in terms of the scheme and the system run by Scott Turner, their Pickett's a better fit. So you think about the Norv Turner, Scott Turner offense, they really trended more towards a quarterback that's like Kenny Pickett as opposed to Willis. But Pickett's accurate. He's got good size, good arm, can run some, plays within the system. I think that the Washington will end up preferring him of the two, given the scheme, especially if they're letting Scott Turner have a big say in it in terms of which quarterback he wants to work with. 12th overall, I have Minnesota taking Ahmad Gardner, Saucy Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati. They need more cornerback talent. He could be a plug-and-play upgrade for the Vikings. 13th overall, I have the Browns taking Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. They need more weapons for Baker Mayfield. Wilson is a big play weapon. He can uncover quickly, help Baker on some short routes to get open quickly off the line. So and he's dangerous after the catch with game-breaking speed. Could also challenge teams vertically. I think Garrett Wilson would be a great fit there for Cleveland. 14th overall, I have the Ravens taking Trent McDuffie, cornerback from Washington. Obviously, the Ravens' pass defense just got torched at the end of last season, and they really need upgrades there. Jimmy Smith's aging. Averett's hitting free agency. Marcus Peters is kind of getting to that point of the contract where he might not be around a whole lot longer, but probably around for next season. So if you take a cornerback like McDuffie, you pair him with Peters and Marlon Humphrey, that gives you a short-term trio right there. And then eventually Peters, they move on from, get younger and cheaper at that position. Makes more sense cap-wise if they're paying Humphrey a big contract to have a first-round corner across from him, a talented guy on a cheaper contract. So I could see McDuffie or offensive line, cornerback, offensive line really being in play here for Baltimore. 15th overall, I have the Eagles taking Kyle Hamilton, safety from Notre Dame. They could use a safety upgrade. Hamilton's so versatile. He can play some free safety, strong safety, so fast going downhill. He's huge. You can play him as a sub-package linebacker as well. I think he could just be kind of a Swiss Army knife in that Eagles defense, used in a variety of ways, make big plays, help them get off the field. 16th overall, I have the Eagles taking George Karlaftis, defensive end from Purdue. Give them an edge rusher. Brandon Graham's aging. You got Derek Barnett hitting free agency, so they could use some young edge rush talent, and I think where they're picking here, these two picks in the middle of the first round, and then they got another one at 19. They should have some really good defensive end options available for them. 17th overall, I have the Chargers taking Jordan Davis, defensive tackle from Georgia. Really love this pick. I think that you're going to be seeing me mock this one a lot. I'm going to have a hard time changing it unless they really address this in free agency, but the Chargers have to improve the run defense, and Davis is the best run defender in the draft. So I think you put him on that line next to Jerry Tillery and Joey Bosa. You're going to have a guy that's eating up blocks. He's going to help free up the linebackers. He's going to help free up Tillery and Bosa. He's so big and so massive. He's going to plug the middle, really make it tough to run up the middle on the Chargers. And then also, he does more in the pass rush than he's probably given credit in terms of just getting a push, kind of collapsing the pocket. So I think he would help them in terms of taking away that ability for quarterbacks to step up to get away from Joey Bosa. And also he'll help Tillery in terms of getting more one-on-ones, because you can line up Davis over the guard and center, just have him smash into them off the ball, and then he's eating up two guys, and he's so big it's going to be hard for them to get off and disengage from him. So really love this pick for the Chargers. 18th overall, I have the Saints taking Tyler Smith, left tackle from Tulsa. We'll see what happens with them in free agency and Teron Armstead's situation, but they could use potentially a long-term left tackle. I think Tyler Smith, with his skill set, be a great fit for the Saints. The organization has done such a phenomenal job of developing offensive line talent. They prioritize offensive line in the draft, as we've seen with Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy, Ramczyk, Andres Pete. I mean, they really prioritize the line, and it makes sense that, if they're needing a long-term left tackle, that they would like Smith, because he's got a great skill set, huge upside, great fit there in New Orleans. 19th overall, I have the Eagles taking Nakobe Dean, linebacker from Georgia. They could use linebacker help. They've needed it for years. Dean would definitely be a plug-and-play upgrade for them. He makes a lot of splash plays, needs to get more consistent on a down-in and down-out basis just in terms of the every-down run defense, but he is a big play weapon, and I could see the Eagles really liking this draft class of what it's doing for their defense between Karlaftis, Hamilton, and Dean. You're getting a defender at each level, really injecting some talent into that side of the ball. 20th overall, I have the Steelers taking Malik Willis, Quarterback from Liberty, obviously Big Ben's retired. They got to get their quarterback of the future. Willis has a great skill set. I think his high character, work ethic is a great fit for Mike Tomlin and that organization. 21st overall, I have the Patriots taking Jameson Williams, wide receiver from Alabama. Mac Jones needs some deep threat receivers. They need a guy who can stretch the field vertically, and I think obviously Williams will do that with his game-breaking speed. And with Jones only being in the second year of his career, they are in a situation where they can afford to be patient. If Williams, needs the first month of the season isn't quite ready to go yet, that's fine. They'll be fine. They've weathered Tom Brady suspended for a month before and still get into the playoffs. So definitely I don't think the injury would be a big issue for the Patriots, but I think he would be an immediate upgrade for that team and that offense once he's healthy and on the field. 22nd overall, I have the Raiders taking Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State. They need a speed receiver to replace Henry Ruggs. That was a big loss for them schematically. It's amazing that they still made the playoffs when Ruggs' situation happened and Darren Waller missed so many games with injuries in the back half of the season. That coaching staff that they just fired just did an incredible job. Greg Olson and Rich Bisaccia and Gus Bradley. So just further proof that Mark Davis really doesn't know what he's doing. But at any rate, the Raiders need more speed at receiver after the Ruggs situation. Olave can be that guy to stretch the field, uncover deep for Derek Carr, would be a really nice player to pair with Darren Waller. All right, 23rd overall, I have the Cardinals taking Trevor Penning, left tackle from Northern Iowa. Give them more line protection for Kyler Murray, better pockets, let him do more damage, get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. 24th overall, I have the Cowboys taking Tyler Linderbaum, center from Iowa. He could also play guard, but Connor Williams is entering free agency. They could use more talent on the inside of the line. With Penning off the board just before them, I could see them kind of changing gears and not doing a tackle when there's a better interior guy available in Linderbaum. So where they're picking at 24, I think Dallas is in a good position to get an offensive lineman that can help them. 25th overall, I have the Bills taking Kaiir Elam, cornerback from Florida. Give them a big corner to go across from Trey White. They were interested in taking corner last year, and then Stokes went right before them to Green Bay. But they still need cornerback help, and Trey White's coming off an injury. I think Elam would be a really good scheme fit for Sean McDermott. 26th overall, the Titans, I have them taking Kenyon Green, guard from Texas A&M. They need more talent on the inside of that line. Green would be a plug-and-play upgrade for them, really improve their protection for Ryan Tannehill and help open holes for Derrick Henry. 27th overall, I have the Bucks taking Daxton Hill, cornerback safety from Michigan. He played both positions. What he does best is play nickel corner. So even if Carlton Davis is re-signed or franchise tagged, they still need more cornerback talent. I think Daxton Hill would be a great fit there for Tampa. 28th overall, I have Green Bay taking Wan'Dale Robinson, wide receiver from Kentucky. Give them a speed receiver that can uncover quickly, regardless of what happens with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. They need more receiver talent. Robinson would be a great addition. 29th overall, I have Miami taking Jermaine Johnson, defensive end from Florida State. They could use another edge rusher to go with Jalen Phillips, and Johnson, I think, be a good fit there for the Dolphins. 30th overall, I have the Chiefs taking Devin Lloyd, linebacker from Utah. They cut Anthony Hitchens, and they could use more talent. They have linebacker talent has been an issue for a few years now. I think Lloyd would be a good fit there in Kansas City. 31st overall, I have the Bengals taking Nick Petit-Ferrer, left tackle from Ohio State. He could be this year's Alex Leatherwood in terms of kind of a guy that the media is sleeping on, but teams have projected higher than what the consensus really understands. So I know Petit Frere teams are projecting in that late one, early second round range, and I think with Cincinnati there at 31, that's a really good pick for them because he's got a lot of upside. Played in state, really has a good skill set, just needs some development, and I think he'd be a good fit there for the Bengals. 32nd overall, I have the Lions taking Damone Clark, linebacker from LSU. They need more linebacker talent, a guy to go with Derek Barnes. I think Clark would be a really nice fit there for Detroit. He's a Zach Cunningham type linebacker, makes a ton of tackles, maybe doesn't produce all these splash plays that wow you, but then you look up and the guy has just huge production. Zach Cunningham led the league in tackles, and that's who Clark really reminds me of, and I've heard that from NFL teams as well, so I think he's being underrated here in the course of this draft cycle. So let's get into the teams that don't have first round picks. 39th, I have the Bears taking George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. Give them a weapon for Justin Fields. Allen Robinson could be gone. They got to get more talent at receiver. 41st overall, I have the Seahawks taking DeMarvin Leal, defensive tackle / end from Texas A&M. The Seahawks like these kind of defensive linemen that have that end tackle flex. He's an interior rusher. I could see him being a good fit there in Seattle. 47th overall, I have the Colts taking Rasheed Walker, left tackle from Penn State. They need a long-term left tackle. Walker has a really good skill set, just needs development. The Colts have a good coaching staff. I think they could really max him out and turn this into a real steal for them in terms of how this pick looks years from now. 61st overall, I have the 49ers taking Alontae Taylor, cornerback from Tennessee. They could use more cornerback talent. Taylor's that kind of tough physical defender that they seem to like. 98th overall, I have the Rams taking Tariq Woolen, cornerback from UTSA. Big corner, fast, really big upside. I could see them developing him into a really nice cornerback to go with Jalen Ramsey. They could use more talent around him. I think Raheem Morris is one of the best defensive back coaches in the NFL. Their defensive coordinator, I think you give him a guy like Woolen, he could turn him into a really good pro. So I love this pick for the Rams at the end of the third round, which I'm projecting that they're getting a comp pick here because of the losses they had in free agency last year with their DBs going to the Browns. So anyways, that's this week's mock. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe and share it and all that stuff. And please check out all the hot presses on Walter Football and Walt's combine results, all the numbers and everything. We got our mocks updated and position rankings, scouting reports, tons of great stuff there. So I'll be back with you guys soon. Thank you. Take care. Be safe. Love all of you. Talk to you later.